BTS news today, the morning silence that is usually soothing for the army suddenly turned into an explosion of emotions and endless curiosity after the news of Jungkook's crying spread on various social media platforms. Internal sources and eyewitnesses from close BTS circles mentioned that the Golden Magne was crying silently, and even more surprising, the cry is mentioned, closely related to something Taehyung is secretly preparing. A secret plan that until now remains a great mystery. What the hell is going on? Why is Jungkook so emotional? And what is the connection between her tears and Taehyung's unexpected move? For a long time, the relationship between Jungkook and Taehyung, or who is familiarly called Taehyung by the fans, has been in the spotlight. Not only because of their sincere closeness, but also because of the warmth and very deep interconnection between the two. They are not just group mates, but true friends who have gone through a lot together, from a struggling period of training to the peak of world fame, which is sometimes emotionally tormenting. However, Jungkook's crying that happened a few days ago was no ordinary crying. These are not tears that arise from being moved during concerts or sentimental moments with fans. This cry came from the depths of complicated feelings, as if he bore a great burden that he could not share with anyone, except maybe one person, Taehyung. Sources who declined to be named convey that Jungkook was seen sitting alone in a private room at one of the training facilities. His face was downcast, his shoulders were shaking slowly. No camera, no stage, only silence, and tears fell unstoppable. When one of the staff tried to approach, Jungkook just nodded weakly and said the words, which makes anyone who hears it feel its emotional devastation. "I wanted to understand," but he didn't say anything. This sentence instantly caused a wave of speculation, because he hints at the confusion and uncertainty that comes from someone close to him, and the conjecture leads directly to Taehyung. Meanwhile, on the other hand, news about secret plan, the one being composed by Taehyung, began to spread among the Korean entertainment industry. Some insiders whisper that Taehyung is preparing for something big, something that has never been done before. Is this a personal project? Is this a form of sacrifice? Or even a shocking decision that could shake BTS and the entire fandom? No one knows for sure, but one thing that is a concern is Taehyung's attitude lately is more closed and often alone. He rarely appears in public, he rarely posts anything on social media, and has even been observed several times leaving without being accompanied by staff or managers. The contrast between these two situations, Jungkook crying in silence and Taehyung composing something behind the scenes, fans began to associate one with the other. Many have speculated that Taehyung's plan, I don't know what form, very influential on Jungkook. Is Taehyung going to leave something behind? Is he preparing a big statement? Or rather, touch it again, was he planning an emotional shock so profound that Jungkook couldn't bear it? Armies around the world are trying to unravel this mystery at all costs. Social media flooded with theories, edit videos, up to a long thread that analyzes each facial expression and the words of both in previous releases. One of the videos that went viral again was the moment when Taehyung and Jungkook stared at each other in silence. It was their last concert before they were drafted into the army. That gaze, full of flavor, not pronounced in but harboring so many emotions, it is now being reinterpreted as a sign of something greater. Speculation also went wild when one of BTS's stylists wrote a short and enigmatic message on his Instagram story. A person should keep secrets for the good of someone he loves. Despite not mentioning names, the observant army immediately linked this sentence to Jungkook and Taehyung's situation. The message was deleted in just over an hour, but it was enough to ignite the curiosity of millions of people. The news also circulated that some of Big Hit's internal staff had an impromptu and closed-door meeting, which is allegedly directly related to the steps to be taken by Taehyung. Some army mentioned that this might be a tough decision, and Taehyung chose not to overload Jungkook with details, but it was precisely because of this that Jungkook felt disoriented. When someone you trust and love makes a big decision that doesn't involve you, the pain can be suffocating in the chest. One fan from South Korea, who is also known as a fanbase watcher, stated that it was possible that Taehyung was composing some sort of the last gift before he was completely immersed in the bustle of the military, or even decide to take a long break from the entertainment world. He added that Taehyung has always been known as a figure full of surprises and very personal. In expressing affection, he is not the type who will convey love frontally, and yet it will wrap it in a meaningful surprise. If true, this plan is a form of tacit love from Taehyung for Jungkook, then Jungkook's crying may be an overflow of unpreparedness to lose something so meaningful. time passed, but the tension felt between the fans did not subside. The media began to highlight the movements of both, although most of their activities are currently under the public radar due to military obligations. But it is precisely in the silence that many unanswered questions are born. One of the senior journalists who interviewed BTS stated that Jungkook and Taehyung's closeness so far is not just a close co-worker. They have such a strong inner bond, almost like twin brothers growing up together in such a harsh world, but able to survive thanks to the existence of each other. He added that when something makes Jungkook cry, then most likely it came from a figure who meant a lot to him. He also said that during the promotion and world tour, Jungkook has lost control of his emotions several times, but only one person can always calm and cuddle him, Taehyung. So when that day Jungkook cried alone and there was no Taehyung by his side, the situation has become completely different. Jungkook looked fragile, like losing his emotional anchor. On the other hand, the news about Taehyung's secret plans is increasingly the subject of conversation. A number of international fanbase accounts that had limited access to behind-the-scenes information began leaking cryptic clues. Some of them mentioned that Taehyung had been recording something secretly, maybe a song, maybe a documentary video, or even an open letter. What's in it? No one knows for sure. But those who witnessed the process firsthand said that every sentence Taehyung wrote contained a sense of longing, sacrifice, and such a deep love. Rumors also get stronger when one of the secret filming locations where Taehyung was visited by a tall man in a dark shirt who was suspected to be Jungkook. One of the freelance photographers who managed to take pictures from a distance claimed that the man just stood outside the building for a few minutes, not logged in, and leave with a downcast face. He seemed to be holding back emotions. Some netizens suggested that Jungkook most likely knew what Taehyung was doing, but not yet ready to accept it. Or maybe he felt abandoned. Their presence in a bright yet stressful world like South Korea's entertainment industry, people often forget that they are human. They laugh, get angry, upset, and cry like anyone. However, different from ordinary celebrities, their every emotion is exposed before millions of eyes that are always waiting for what they will say, do it, or hide it. In this situation, the story of Taehyung and Jungkook becomes a story that is not only personal, but rather a symbol of a complicated but pure love, an unspoken separation. In Suffocating Longing Point, one of the big hit staff who had worked for a long time with BTS revealed that before serving in the army, Taehyung had a long talk with several members, including Jungkook. In the conversation, he expressed his fear of being forgotten, fear of being left behind, fear that the world they have known for more than 10 years will change so quickly. Jungkook then just looked at her with teary eyes and replied, "I'm not going anywhere." But perhaps, in the inevitable reality, the change nevertheless took place. And perhaps, Taehyung's secret plan is his last form of resistance to that change, by creating something eternal to leave behind, not to be remembered, but to be felt. The most heartbreaking moment came during one of BTS Festa's rebroadcasts. The ARMY sees flashbacks of moments between Jungkook and Taehyung backstage. In the video, Taehyung holds Jungkook's shoulder and whispers softly something.